Texas All-Star Wrestling 86 on the road. Tonight, we're at the Freeman Coliseum, San Antonio, for the finals of the Texas six-man tag team tournament. We'll be showing you highlights of the great matches, plus we will be going for that main event and give you the winner of the new Texas six-man tag team championship. That's coming up later on today here. Here with me is the Cowboy, Scott Casey. And Scott, it's good to have you back, but I know it's also kind of what you're going to tell us is not what a lot of fans will want to hear.
Steve, as you know, I was supposed to be scheduled in a six-man tag match with Big Bubba and the one-man gang. But as you can tell here, I'm kind of wrapped up. And this was, well, it took place down in Corpus Christi, and you people will see what happened later on in this show as to why my ribs are the way they are. Also, I want to say goodbye to all my friends. I'm not going to be wrestling in the Texas area for quite a while. They've supported me quite a bit, and they've been behind me, and I've always been behind them and tried to give them 150%. But there's one person I especially want to say something to, and that's you, Bruiser Brody. I won't be seeing you for a while, but then again, I may be seeing you sooner than you think. So I want to say goodbye to everyone and thank you for your support, and I'll see you down the road.
Thank you very much, Scott Casey. It's good to have you here anytime in Texas, and we look forward to your return.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because the big six-man tag team tournament is about to begin. Our opening match is coming up right after this.
Waiter, I don't think you left us enough change.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't settle for less than all you've got coming. Yet every year, that's what millions of Americans do with their taxes. At H&R Block, we guarantee you the biggest refund you're entitled to, or your return is free.
Don't shortchange yourself on your taxes. Come to H&R Block. We'll get you the biggest refund you have coming, or your return is free.
Guaranteed.
Austin, Texas, come on down and get ready for The Price is Right with host Tom Kennedy. It just happened, folks. We got that. The prizes are bigger and better than ever. Our new Dune Buggy. New excitement, new prizes, and the old-fashioned thrill of winning big. $2 cash. Catch the excitement weekdays at 4:30 on Channel 36 with The Price is Right.
The Black Experience is in focus during the month of February as the Black Arts Alliance presents the second Black Photographers Collaborative Exhibition. Personal views, photographs from Austin to Africa. On view at the Daughtery Arts Center from February 9th through the 28th. For more information, call the Black Arts Alliance, 477-9660.
Can you lend a hand to help your neighbors in Austin? Our community has many programs designed to benefit people in need. Many of these programs are understaffed and in need of volunteers. Being a volunteer takes time, but the satisfaction you'll get from helping others will be your reward. If you have extra time and you'd like to lend a hand, call the Volunteer Center in Austin at 451-6651. You can help. So make the connection and call the Volunteer Center today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening match here in the final round of the Texas Six-Man Tag Team Championship is in the ring. You can hear in the background the announcer, Mark Nolte, here at the Freeman Coliseum, San Antonio. Let's go to the ring here and pick up this action of the match, which will see the American Force and the Hitman, David Patterson, teaming up against Hacksaw Higgins, Chris Adams, and, of course, the Golden Boy, Mike Golden. Here we go. Going for the leverage. Michaels is going back. Diamond going back. Adams seems to have it going his way, but here comes Diamond powering back up. Diamond about to get even with Chris Adams is back there at the standoff now, and maybe Diamond has things going his way. Oh, as Higgins starts in, the referee went over to Higgins, And Adams reached up, pulled the hair of Michaels, and pulled him off. And, yeah, I keep wanting to say, Michael, this is Diamond. Excuse me, Paul Diamond. Exciting Paul Diamond, the American force, dives in with an elbow. Chris Adams moves out from underneath. Diamond's head slammed into the boot of the Golden Boy now. Adams and Higgins hold as the Golden Boy lays him in. Here comes the Hitman in. Referee intercepts him as Golden continues to pound on Paul Diamond. Diamond bouncing off the rope. Oh, and the Golden Boy diving in there with that head is knocked Paul Diamond down. He rakes the laces of the boots around the area of the eyes. The head of Paul Diamond slammed into the turnbuckle as you saw the Golden Boy tagging out now to Chris Adams. Chris Adams has Diamond on the rope. He and Golden whip him across the ring, and then they double clothesline him as Golden finally gets out. Chris Adams. Nice suplex there. There's a tag. It's Golden coming back in. Diamond unable to get over and tag out to either one of his partners. There's a slam. There's a count. It's a 2. Golden slams Diamond's head into the knee of Hacksaw Higgins. Hacksaw Higgins putting elbows to the back of the head of Paul Diamond. Diamond taking it here from Hacksaw Higgins as Higgins doubled up those knees and put them underneath the chin of Diamond. Now Higgins slamming Paul Diamond down. He comes across that 300 pounds across the chest. Paul Diamond kicks out at 2. Diamond bouncing off the rope. Oh, he goes over the top of Hacksaw Higgins. He's over the top, but Higgins hits him with that fist. And Diamond thought that he could get away from Hacksaw Higgins, but he didn't make it. In behind with a face lock, it's Hacksaw Higgins. Higgins holding on to Paul Diamond. Fantasy was yelling something into the ring as she is outside as we continue to watch Diamond and Hacksaw Higgins. And this is Texas six-man tag team action. New champions to be crowned here tonight. Here comes Diamond. He ducked underneath. Cross body block. He's on top of Hacksaw Higgins. He gets thrown off at the count of 1. Arm drag. Body slam. Diamond takes Higgins, whips him across the rope. Throws him into the air. Here comes Chris Adams. He gets the drop kick. Here comes Golden. He gets the drop kick. Diamond leading out here at the Freeman Coliseum. Paul Diamond waits for one of the men to get back into the ring, and it's going to be Hacksaw Higgins. Chris Adams is up on that top rope. No, he doesn't come down onto the back of Paul Diamond like he had thought he wanted to. Now Higgins with a kick. Hacksaw Higgins reaches down, grabs Paul Diamond, stomps that head across that knee. Diamond's in a bad spot here. A little choking from Golden. Outside, it's the Hitman coming over, trying to break things up. Inside, it's Chris Adams now, pounding on Paul Diamond. Adams lays in a good one. Adams with another one, and that knocks Paul Diamond down. Paul Diamond's been in there a long time. Well, Chris Adams turning things around to his advantage now. He snatches the leg. 1, 2. Didn't get the 3. Chris Adams takes Paul Diamond, whips him across the ring. Oh, he went for the drop kick. Diamond held on to the rope. Can he get over and make the tag? Yes, he does. The Hitman has tagged in. There's the drop kick. Down goes Chris Adams. The Hitman has him covered up. He only gets a 2 count. Here comes Chris Adams bouncing off the rope. This time an elbow from the Hitman knocks him back down again. Here's the count. It's 2 again. David Patterson with an uppercut forearm. As the Hitman punishes Chris Adams, he slams into the mat, covers him up, goes for a pin, and he gets a 1 this time. Chris Adams. The Hitman with another slam. Dives in with an elbow. Chris Adams moves out from underneath. Chris Adams going for the pile driver. Can he get it? He does. Chris Adams with the pile driver on the Hitman, David Patterson. Here goes Chris Adams. Out on that top rope. Adams comes down as Fantasy is up on the apron. Here comes Golden. And Fantasy was having words with Chris Adams. Golden didn't like it out. Adams and Golden getting into the action. Drop kick. There's a count in the ring as the Hitman gets the 3 count. The American force for Fantasy getting up there and something happened. I don't know what she said to Chris Adams. Golden didn't like it. But the American force and the Hitman win the opening round as they defeat Hacksaw Higgins, the Golden Boy, and Chris Adams. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because coming up next, it's the new Diablos against Big Bubba, one-man gang, and Mark Youngblood. That's Texas six-man tag team action continues. Texas All-Star Wrestling will return to Austin very soon. I want to tell you that Texas All-Star Wrestling will be in Caldwell to SPJST Hall on Friday, January the 31st, 7:30 starting time. You'll see the Golden Boy, Mike Golden, going into the ring to meet the Hitman, David Patterson. The Wild Bull Ayala from Central America will be there to meet Buddy Marino, the South American heavyweight champion. From Africa, the Mighty Zulu, plus other great wrestling stars. Advance tickets on sale at the Country Corner, the Sonic Drive-In, and the SPJST Hall. That's Friday, January the 31st, Caldwell, Texas. Texas All-Star Wrestling. The Wild Bull Ayala against Buddy Marino in Caldwell.
Buddy Marino, you think you was lucky? You think you was run away from me? You think I never gonna get you? You think I'm going to forget everything? No, I can forget nothing. What that happened to you and I, we're going to set it down right here in Texas because I'm not happy the way he stole my belt. I don't say he win that belt. He stole that belt. And, Buddy Marino, you're in a lot of trouble because when I get my hands on you, you're gonna be sorry. I mean, the people are going to be sorry because I'm going to destroy you the way I want.
Wild Bull Ayala will be in Caldwell against Buddy Marino. The Mighty Zulu makes his first appearance.
In Caldwell, Texas, this is the Zulu. I don't know who he's wrestling, but whoever he wrestles, when he hit him with that African soup bone, if they don't fall down, they'll do funny things standing up. I don't like bringing my men into Caldwell, Texas. It's too small. It's not enough money there. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Caldwell, Texas. I'll bring the magnificent Zulu there for one time only after he pulverized whomever he goes against because he knows that the Honorable One don't like losers.
Another great six-man tag team match is about to enter the ring here at the Freeman Coliseum as the tournament continues. You'll be seeing Mark Youngblood, who is taking Scott Casey's place, teaming up with Big Bubba and the one-man gang to go against the new Diablos. Let's go to the ring now and pick up the action.
I wouldn't want a guy that big twisting on my arm.
I wouldn't either. Here comes the one. It's a little bigger, the one-man gang.
Bombs away.
Well, this is when you wonder what's going to happen.
Boy.
Look out! Look at that!
Oh, goodness.
And, you know, those body slams hurt, but when you
Yeah.
got a guy like the gang picking you up, how high in the air are you?
Feel like you're falling from the sky.
Well, that's for sure.
That's one-man gang. He threw him right out there. He'll go right out after him.
He is going out after him.
Yes, he will.
I want to tell all you fans in San Antonio, Texas All-Star Wrestling every Monday night at the Wrestlathon. Come on by. We'd like to see you. One-man gang is over there. Looks like he's using the ropes.
That's one-man gang, brother. He won't stop at nothing. That's him. That's the way he does it right there.
Yeah. As the lights come on, we watch the action. Here comes the one-man gang back up. We'd like to welcome WD-TV Channel 5 in Clarksburg, West Virginia, to the Texas All-Star Wrestling Network. We hope all you fans in West Virginia are enjoying the action.
There go Youngblood with the big chop there. Oh, yeah, he's cutting it loose now.
Takes care of all three of the wrestlers from Mexico. Youngblood, look at those big chops.
Youngblood's good. He's a good wrestler.
Now, most Diablos in there on Mark Youngblood. They pound him down to the mat. Boots come to the back. Here comes the other wrestler from Mexico over to help out from outside the ring as he has.
Yeah, the referee don't see that.
Well, the referee is tied up over there with one of the Diablos.
You cannot blame that on the referee because he don't see it.
Well, when there's 6 men in the ring, well, I'll tell you what, it's hard for the referee to keep up, and you know that.
Yes. The Diablos now, they got somebody more their size, but they don't know what to do with one-man gang and Big Bubba. There's too much meat for them.
That's for sure.
Just pull the trunks there.
Talking about the Texas Cup stars, we're going to be showing a Texas Cup semifinal match here later on today on Texas All-Star Wrestling right here from the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio. But some of the names entered in the Texas Cup, those Wild Samoans from the WWF, that Seeking Alpha.
Oh, yes.
And also the Tonga Kid.
Yes, Tonga Kid's very good. The Wild Samoan are very, very tough. Now, the Wild Samoan, now those are two guys I'd like to see against the gang and Big Bubba. Now, that would be something to see.
Oh, that would be something to see. That would be a great fight. We'll be picking up some Texas Cup action next week from Temple, Texas, right here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, as we were on the road in Temple at the Mayburn Civic Center to pick that action up for you.
Well, you know, Steve, if I wore a hat, I would take my hat off to Shawn Michaels and Paul Diamond. The two men have really come on and got it together, and they really defend their title. I mean, like two men. They fight hard.
Exciting victory here earlier
Yes,
tonight.
they
They'll be continuing on.
They did. It couldn't happen to two finer young men.
Here comes the one-man gang tagging back in. And some of that Texas Cup action you'll be seeing next week from Temple, Texas. You'll be seeing Bruiser Brody against Big Bubba.
That will be something to see. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, don't miss that.
And that's going to be quite a fight. Also, one of the Zambui Express will be going into the ring to meet the Wild Samoan.
The Wild Samoan.
The Tonga Kid will take on Kamala.
Well, that's going to be something to see because Kamala, it's another man that's very unpredictable. The guy doesn't speak English. You never know what he's going to do. It's going to be something to see. It's going to be a lot of excitement.
That are just some of the great matches you'll be
Now,
seeing.
you see how they're handling that one-man gang there. Now, he's a big man. Now, they're kicking him on the leg there. And that's one thing they're very smart on. You got to get a big man off of his feet.
They're softening those legs up, and they're keeping them in their corner where all three of them can do the damage.
They're tagging in and out. But
they're staying in longer than they are out.
Yeah, that's right. But that's not enough for one-man gang. He's a big man, and he's been there before.
It's the Diablos and their partner. All three of them on the one-man gang, and as big as he is, I don't know if these three weigh as much as he does.
I don't think so. They're trying to wear the big man down, but I don't think it's going to work. They're doing a pretty good job of it right now. They still don't have him off of his feet yet. You got to get a man that big off of his feet.
Big forearm to the back by the Diablos.
Yes.
That's the new Diablos. Now you see one of them choking as he has a big one-man gang over that top rope.
Yes.
Bubba and Mark Youngblood over there would like to get in, but every time they start in, the referee cuts them off.
Yes. See, one-man gang is still on his feet. You still have a lot of fight left in him. You've got to get a man like that off his feet, as I said once before.
There's the kick as the new Diablos, both of them in the ring now. Finally, one of them gets out.
Right now, they're doing some good teamwork. See the one, the guy kicking him on this side here. Oh, see?
Oh, here comes the one-man gang, slugging him back.
Yeah, the one got him from behind there. They got him to his knees.
There's a kick to the back.
Yes.
One-man gang in the wrong corner. This is a place you don't want to be in a six-man tag team match.
For sure.
One-man gang's leg is tied up in the ropes, and the Diablos are kicking at it now.
Yeah, that's a good move on their part. You got to keep a man that big, as I said before, tied up like that. Don't you run a lot of trouble.
There's the one-man gang with a kick of its own.
Yes, that's what I was telling you. He need to fight his way out of that corner now.
Well, he's been in that corner a long time, Tom.
See, they keep pounding on the leg there. They're kicking him on the leg. They're trying to get him down.
Don't forget the action coming to you next week, Texas Cup action, but this is Texas six-man tag team finals. We're going to have a new Texas six-man tag team champion. What a kick!
Yeah, did you see that? Right on the button. Oh, there goes the gang.
He's going to clean out.
Yes. Oh, he's going to tag out now. Youngblood's coming in.
He's tagging out to Mark Youngblood, and Mark Youngblood comes in. But the one-man gang is not left yet. He grabs the man, whips him into the ring.
Very good.
Cross body block off that top rope. It's one, two, three, it's all over. As Big Bubba, the one-man gang, and Mark Youngblood win it. And they'll continue on to the finals here tonight of the Texas six-man tag team championship. Tom, thanks for coming by.
It's been a pleasure.
The hands of Bruiser Brody in a cage match. Let's take you now and show you exactly what happened at the Memorial Coliseum in Corpus Christi as Scott Casey was battling Chris Adams. Bruiser Brody, the $1 Million Man, has come into the ring, and Gary Hart has closed the cage, and it's Brody with Casey. Unscheduled, Brody appears, takes the boot to Casey, and now there's that 2x4 that has appeared every time that Brody appears on the scene. And Bruiser Brody is here pounding on Scott Casey. He is taking that 2x4 right to the chest of Casey. Now he's trying to get to the referee, George Stevens. George better look out, or he's going to feel that 2x4. There's that 2x4 going into the midsection of Scott Casey. Well, when you hear the ambulance, you know that Bruiser Brody is on the scene. Brody has pounded Scott Casey so much with that 2x4 that there's no way that Casey's going to get out of the ring on his own. The Metatron's people are bringing the gurneys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you saw, Scott Casey had those ribs taped earlier. Let's take you now to the office of Dr. Bowman as he is offering some medical assistance to Scott Casey. Dr. Bowman, what injuries are you treating Scott Casey for?
I'm treating Scott Casey for a separated shoulder, lacerated ribs, fractured ribs, and laceration in the chest cavity.
Well, these all came, of course, from the 2x4. If it's been somebody like me, I think the injuries would have been much more severe.
It would have been totally disabled.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't me, but I hate to see it happen to anybody, especially a friend of mine like Scott Casey.
A man in his physical condition and the hard work he's done in the gym and exercise caused him to live through this. Otherwise, he would have been disabled.
Well, Doc, what are you doing with Scott Casey to get him back where he'll be able to get in a professional wrestling ring again?
I'm giving him ultrasound and physical therapy and deep massage, and we'll get him back in several weeks.
Well, several weeks, maybe longer than that, maybe?
About 10 weeks or so.
Well, Doctor, what does he have to do when he's not in your office?
We'll have him under exercise and swimming and different types of therapy that will limber his body back up and aid his circulation and keep him in physical condition.
Does he have to visit you every day?
Every day.
And you're going to keep a close watch on him for many weeks?
On him, yeah.
Well, Scott, I know that you hate to sit here in the doctor's office, but the way it stands right now, that 2x4 did the damage to you, and I think that Brody really had something in for you because I know he'll do anything to make Gary Hart happy.
That's true, Steve. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. I realize, and you realize, that professional wrestling is the hardest sport known to man. I think this all stems back from in the cage whenever Gary Hart kind of got under my skin and made me irritated, and he wanted to leave the ring after saying a few things to me, and I just felt like I was going to show him in the world of wrestling that he wasn't about to run roughshod over me. So when I knocked him down, I mean, obviously, Bruiser Brody was brought out there to take care of me with a 2x4, because knowing Gary Hart and the way he is and paying $1 million to a man like Bruiser Brody came and did his deed and made his money for that night.
Scott, I know the doctor's spending a lot of time with you, and of course, you're the type of guy that likes to get out of you. You feel like you'd want to go right back to it, but you know better than that now, don't you?
Well, Steve, you know, I've always been real active, and I would like to go back right now, but I know I'm not physically able to, and I appreciate everything that Dr. Bowman is doing for me. It just seems that I just can't wait to get back in there and get him.
Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing you back one of these days soon, we hope.
Well, I hope so too, Steve, and Bruiser Brody, I want to direct this to you. I may be back sooner than you think.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bowman, for allowing us to come into your office. And, Scott, we want to wish you the best of luck, and I know the fans out there would like for you to get well soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more right after this.
So they're bringing them in small over WWF, the NWA, world class, wherever they come from, it don't matter. The first thing we're going to do when this cup, we're going to take his top off here and fill up Texas tea. We're going to have a big party, especially with all that money I'm going to have right after that.
I could care less about American football. The important thing is this prestigious Texas Cup, never before in the state of Texas. Anything as prestigious as a cup, and you can better believe that Devastation Incorporated with the General, with Elijah and Kareem and Kamala, will walk away with the Texas Cup.
See some big names in professional wrestling coming here to Texas. You people think the Battle of the Alamo is big. The Texas Cup is going to make it look like a birthday party. Paul and I realize we may have to wrestle each other and anybody else, but when the end comes, Paul and I are going to go after that Texas Cup.
Right, baby. Just like everybody said, the Tonga Kid is here in Texas today. The reason why I'm here, I heard there's a tournament going on about this place.
Well, let me explain one thing to you people. The Tonga Kid is here, and he's ready to go after this play. And don't you people forget that.
As far as the eye can see, they're coming for this cup, baby, and I'm going to be ready for it.
Right, the Texas Cup, ain't that beautiful, Steve? And the Golden Boy, my man, is going to win this cup for me.
I'm going to put California Cup on that and show it from what it really should be, because I tell you what, I'm taking this back to California with me.
Because wrestling from everywhere go be there, and I go be the winner.
And I know for a fact the only two men's going to be left. It's going to be the two baddest men in there. It's me, and the other baddest man is Bruiser Brody. Well, that's the way I want it, because I know for a fact, Bruiser Brody is taking a ride in ambulance.
As well as you know, I know the ultimate winner is going to be one big Bruiser Brody. And as far as you, Wahoo McDaniels, if you get through the Texas Cup competition, the Big Bruise and I'll be waiting for you. Don't forget what happened to you last time, Wahoo.
$100,000 on the line, and I got the magnificent Zulu here. I'm bringing him in all the way from Africa. Look at that body, Jack Stack. Look at those arms on it. Because he's going to get this belt right here. If he don't, one of my men will.
Texas Cup. People are coming from all over the world just to win this cup. I guarantee you my hand's going to be in this gold, too. I come from a long ways, and I'm not going to go out with my tail between my legs. I guarantee you I am going to be a winner.
Super Bowl Sunday. $100,000, people. The Texas Cup. This is it. This is the big one. Can you dig it? All over the country, people are calling in. Ha! How can I lose with the stuff I use? So get your faces in the plate. And don't be late, because the Iceman's going to be there. Can you dig it? Ha! Like Mama says, it be that way sometimes.
General Scanbar, Akbar at ringside. Let's pick up the action. As you can see, the Zambui diving in there with a knee. Gary Hart of H&H Associates is there. Oh, and just off to the left in the corner, Kamala has Gary Hart. Kamala As Gary Hart, Al Madrill, and Killer Brooks come help out. You see Friday at ringside also, along with the General Skandor Akbar. In the ring, the $1 Million Man takes the Zambui Express, throws him out on the apron, and here comes Brody out after him. Next week, Texas Cup action from Temple, Texas. Ooh, the Zambui's head thrown into the table as they begin to do a little house moving down there at ringside. You can see Brody and Brooks and Madrill. Brody has a chair. Brody's going after the Zambui. Brooks has a chair. Brody throws a chair into the ring. Texas six-man tag team action. We're going to crown the new Texas six-man tag team champions here tonight. The Zambui throws back underneath that bottom rope, and let's see who the legal man is in with him. It is going to be Killer Brooks. Killer Brooks with a boot. Killer Brooks pounding on the Zambui Express. Don't forget, the cameras of Texas All-Star Wrestling will be at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio on Super Bowl Sunday the 26th for the Super Bowl Sunday Wrestling Spectacular. And it's the finals of the Texas Cup. And I'm going to give you those names which have been entered in the Texas Cup tournament, which is already going throughout the state of Texas, and will come to the big finals at the Hemisphere Arena on the 26th, and we'll be there to capture the action for you. Killer Brooks finds the big Zambui on top of him as the Zambui is using that rope for leverage. Here are some of the stars of the Texas Cup. Of course, the Bruiser Brody, the Wild Bull Ayala, the two Zambui Express, the Mummy, the Golden Boy, the Mighty Zulu, and you'll see him next week here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Al Madrill, Killer Brooks, Kamala, the Ugandan Giant, Big Bubba, Scott Casey. Well, Scott Casey had to check out of that one because of the injury, and the statement you heard from Scott Casey earlier here on Texas All-Star Wrestling Night. The Hitman, the American Force, Buddy Marino, Bobby Duncan, the Tonga Kid, the two Samoans, those gentlemen representing the WWF out of New York. Angel Blanco Jr. from Mexico, Wahoo McDaniel, the new Diablos, Austin Idol, Chris Adams, Big Bubba, and the list goes on and on. That's Texas Cup action. You don't want to miss it. Back into the ring, it's Al Madrill with the Zambui Express. Madrill holding on to the Zambui. Kamala is right there with him. Oh, a headbutt. Another headbutt from the Ugandan Giant. The Zambui holding on to the head of Al Madrill. Madrill trying to fight his way back out of that corner. He's whipped into the other corner now. Oh, and Madrill reverses and throws the Zambui in there. And now he throws him the other way, right into Killer Brooks. And Brooks pounds, and here comes the $1 Million Man, Bruiser Brody, as he is tagged in. Well, it's both Zambuis, Al Madrill and Bruiser Brody. Now here comes Brooks. Brooks with an elbow. As Al Madrill is tied up with one of the Zambuis, Kamala is right there helping out. Brody and Brooks clothesline the Zambui Express. Bruiser Brody dives in there with that 300 pounds across the chest and maybe on the throat of the Zambui, but the other Zambui comes in with a kick and knocks Bruiser Brody off. Brody tags out the Killer Brooks. Here comes the Zambui. Brody and Brooks with elbows knocking down. Brooks has him covered up. It's count of two. Oh, I thought he had him. Brooks kicks. Now he tags out. Here comes the $1 Million Man of professional wrestling, Bruiser Brody. Under the advisorship of none other than Mr. Gary Hart, who is at ringside. Brody has him covered up. The other Zambui in with a kick and knocks him off. Brody whips the Zambui into the ropes, and there's Brody with a drop kick. Bruiser Brody with a drop kick. Has the Zambui down, and once again another save by the other Zambui, and Brody goes after him. Bruiser Brody finds both Zambuis knocking him out of the ring. Here comes Al Madrill. Al Madrill. Brody battling it outside with the Zambui. Into the ring, Kamala knocks Al Madrill down. The Zambui dives on top. The Zambui has Al Madrill down. It's 1, 2, 3. 1, Zamboy and Kamala are going to win it. Brody is out collecting a little hardware. The bell is sounding. This match is over. As far as the decision is going to be rendered, but it's not over as far as Bruiser Brody, the $1 million man, is concerned. Neither is Killer Rook or El Madril as they take that 2x4. They're pounding, but it's not going to do him any good. As the Ugandan giant, the Zamboy Express, win it, and they'll continue on here tonight. Stay tuned, because we'll be back with Texas Cup action right after this. Texas All-Star Wrestling in Caldwell at the AFTJFT Hall on Friday night, January the 31st, 7:30 p.m. start time. Advanced tickets available at the Country Corner, the Sonic Drive-In, and the STJFT Hall. And a few moments ago, David Hitman Patterson was as livid as I've ever seen him. And in Caldwell on the 31st, you and the Golden Boy are going to be the targets of his wrath.
Hey, I want to tell you something. You and David Patterson especially make me want to throw right up. Whitman, we're sick and tired of you, and we're going to get you. The Golden Boy here is going to take care of you because you ain't nothing but a wimp, and your brother ain't nothing but a half man, and your sister's a hog that got ran out of the state of Texas because she's so ugly. Now, what do you think about that?
Yeah, and you're going to join your ugly sister, boy, and I'm going to end it right once and for all. If that's what you want, it's the final straw, baby. That's the way it's going to be, Daddy, and it's going to be so fine for me and Fantasy right here to walk home feeling fine, Daddy.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up in just a moment, you'll be seeing a semifinal round for a Texas Cup match. As the Iceman King Parsons will be going against Buddy Marino. And next week, remember, we're going to be in Temple, Texas, with a lot of that Texas Cup action. Also, we're going to bring you the finals from the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio on Super Sunday the 26th. So now let's give you a little preview of what Texas Cup action is like. Let's go to the ring. Reversing, and the Iceman holds on to the arm of Buddy Marino. Marino getting very close to the ropes, and the Iceman still riding up on the back of Buddy Marino. I think he was underneath the bottom rope, so the referee asked for the break, and he got it. Buddy Marino in behind. The Iceman trying to power his way out. Marino holds on tight now. He drives the Iceman forward and down to the mat, and now he comes up on the small of the back. The Iceman grabs that chin. The Iceman trying to twist him over. They work very close to the ropes, and they go underneath that bottom rope, and the referee asks for another break. It was Buddy Marino underneath the bottom rope. The referee, George Stevens, says break it, and they did. Texas Cup action. You're getting just a little preview of it here tonight. Next week, a lot of Texas Cup action from the Mayburn Civic Center in Temple, Texas. And don't forget, the cameras of Texas All-Star Wrestling will be at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio on Sunday the 26th. Super Bowl Sunday Wrestling Spectacular with the finals of the Texas Cup. You don't want to miss that. 5 minutes have gone by in this match as Marino knocks down the Iceman. Marino goes over the top of the Iceman, but the Iceman steps in front, gets a nice hip toss, and goes for the head and takes Buddy Marino down. Iceman holding on to Buddy Marino. Marino reaches down, grabs the leg of the Iceman, picks it up. What's he going to try to do with it? Marino tried to get him off balance to relieve the pressure that the Iceman has on the head with that side headlock. Now Marino moves in front. They twist a little bit, both trying to come up with something here to turn this match around. It's been a pretty even battle so far. They back into the corner. It is Marino in front. Buddy Marino. Oh, Marino throws a forearm on the break. Buddy Marino threw a forearm on the break as he had the Iceman in the corner. The referee wanted him to break, but he didn't want him to throw that forearm. And the Iceman didn't look like he was expecting it either. Now he turns Buddy Marino around. This time the referee says break, and it's a big chop from the Iceman. Marino pushes him back out of the corner. They lock up in the referee's position. Coming out of it with a side headlock is Buddy Marino. Marino still holds onto the head of the Iceman. Takes him down with a hip toss. But he doesn't get to keep him as the Iceman kicks him into that head scissors. Marino comes out of it. And Marino dives for the head of the Iceman. Texas Cup action. A lot of Texas Cup matches next week. Remember, one of the big ones, Bruiser Brody, the $1 million man with Gary Hart, will be taking on Big Bubba. You don't want to miss that one. Side headlock by Buddy Marino. They're backing into the corner. Still to come here today, the final match for the Texas six-man tag team tournament. There goes the Iceman down. Over the top goes Buddy Marino. The Iceman's waiting for him this time, but Marino went over the back. The Iceman turns around, and Marino is waiting there for him. 2 minutes remain in this match. The finals of the Texas six-man tag team tournament yet to come here today, as you'll see the Zambui Express and the Ugandan Giant Kamala coming out to battle it out with Mark Youngblood, Big Bubba, and the one-man gang. The winner of that to be the new Texas six-man tag team champions. That's yet to come. As we watch the time wind down on this Texas Cup match. Oh, Iceman with a headbutt. They move to the center of the ring. Now they continue to move. Marino turns the Iceman around on the ropes. Marino with a kick. Marino whips him into the ropes on the other side. Comes up with an elbow to the top of the head. 1 minute remains in the match. Marino on top. He had a 1 count, the referee says. Here comes the Iceman bouncing off the ropes again. This time a kick, and that knocks down Buddy Marino. Iceman on top. The referee pounds that mat for a 2 count. Marino finds himself being slammed as the Iceman covers him up again. George Stevens, another 2 count. And here comes a reverse backslide. Marino, the South American heavyweight champion, was down for a 1 count. Marino has the Iceman up, slams him down, covers him up. Only a 1 count that time. They back into the corner. 10 seconds remain in the match. Marino throws the Iceman across the ring. Marino comes in. Oh, they both go for a drop kick and a miss. And both men missing that drop kick. And there is the bell. There's the bell as time has expired for this match. We'll wait till the referee in a Texas Cup match has to make a decision, so let's see what it's going to be. Referee George Stevens will be making a decision, and he reaches over, grabs the Iceman's hand, Buddy Marino's hand. Who's he going to raise? And it's Buddy Marino. Buddy Marino's hand raised as he wins the Texas Cup semi-final match over the Iceman King Parsons.
Bridal Dazzle. Owl's Formal Wear is hosting their annual Bridal Dazzle. See a wedding fashion show. Browse through booths by sponsors who represent all facets of the wedding business, including bridal fashions by Formerly Yours. Thousands of dollars in door prizes and gifts will be given away, including round-trip airfare for a honeymoon in fabulous Hawaii. Bridal Dazzle at the Austin Marriott, January 27th. Doors open at 6 for registration and the booth. Show starts at 7:30. Admission is $3.
Since the beginning, man has recorded history in the sands of time. Some monumental, some mildly interesting, most incredibly trivial. Now enough stuff has happened that America can finally play the ultimate TV trivia game, Jeopardy. Never before has there been such challenge, delight, reward for the lucky few who pass the test. Jeopardy, 18 million trivial years in the making.
Jeopardy, weekdays at 5 on 36.
Coordinated muscle power. Fantastic precision. Incredibly coordinated muscle control. We're vitally interested in muscle. We're concerned with 40 muscle diseases and over 1 million people who suffer from them. We're research and patient care. We're the Muscular Dystrophy Association. People help MDA because MDA helps people.
Trash truck comes in the morning, works from can to can. Citizens worry about the garbage tax as the landfill fills up too much land. We'd be digging a smaller pit if we'd recycle and process it instead of just taking out the garbage. We should be using it again.
Well, it's come down to this, the final match, which will decide the new Texas six-man tag team champion. As you'll be seeing, the Ugandan Giant Kamala and the Zambui Express against the one-man gang, Big Bubba and Mark Youngblood. Who's going to be the champion? We'll find out. Let's go to the ring now and pick up the action. As we pick up the action of this main event, which is the finals for the Texas six-man tag team championship. The Zambui Express and Kamala against Big Bubba, the one-man gang, and Mark Youngblood. It's the Zambui and Mark Youngblood battling it out in the ring. To get to the finals, well, here's the way the action went earlier. Of course, the Zambui defeated Bruiser Brody, Killer Brooks, and Al Madrill. Then they came back, and that was in the opening round. Then they came back in the semifinal to defeat the American Force in a very controversial decision that was. And here they are against Moon, Bubba, and Youngblood, and they got there by winning their opening round match against the New Diablos. They draw to bye in the semifinal round, and here they are in the finals. Who's going to be the new champion? We'll find out in a little while here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Don't forget, next week, Texas Cup action with the biggest stars in professional wrestling from the Mayburn Civic Center in Temple, Texas. Oh, look at the Moon come in there and handle that Zambui, but at the same time, it's Kamala taking care of Mark Youngblood. It's Kamala and the other Zambui over there really putting that weight to their advantage as they take care of Youngblood. The announcers' tuxedos on this program were sponsored by S&S Tuxedo Rentals, San Antonio, with 4 locations. The Ugandan Giant in the corner of Big Bubba and the one-man gang, and they are putting some forearms to his back. Now the Ugandan Giant tags out. In comes the other Zambui Express. Ugandan Giant is holding Youngblood. Oh! And the Zambui dives in there. That's 400-plus pounds, holding 400-plus pounds, washing. Moon starts in, the referee. Well, he's thrown out of the way. Poor George probably weighs about 180 pounds. Moon, 450 or 60 pounds. And he just threw the referee out of the way. There's no way the referee's going to stop the one-man gang if he doesn't want to slow down. Remember, Texas All-Star Wrestling will be at the Hemisphere Arena with Super Bowl Sunday Wrestling Spectacular for the finals of the Texas Cup on January the 26th. And we'll be bringing you that action here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Well, there are a lot of Texas six-man tag team matches here tonight, but it's all come down to this. And the team that wins this one will be ruling the ring in Texas for the Texas six-man tag team champion. Look at that move. Boy, you talk about a fight. Now, he's got Kamala and the Zambui. And now Bubba comes in to help out. It's Bubba and the Moon pounding on the Zambui Express. The Ugandan Giant outside with Friday and General Skandor Akbar. There goes Bubba getting out now. Moon reaches down and grabs the Zambui, and now the Moon tags out. In comes Big Bubba. Bubba and the Moon whip the Zambui in. They clothesline him. Who's going to win it? I know you've got your favorite there at home, but we'll never know until the final bell sounds here on this one. And the team that wins this one will be the true Texas six-man tag team champion. Here comes the Moon out with Kamala. They're fighting outside. Inside, it's a Zambui with Bubba down. 1, 2, 3. As you saw the other Zambui helping out. Outside, it's the Moon fighting it with the Ugandan Giant Kamala, and Big Bubba got it from the Zambui. And you are now looking at Big Bubba in the ring and George Stevens raising the Zambui's head. And that makes the Zambui and the Ugandan Giant Kamala the winners and the Texas six-man tag team champions. And I never thought it would ever finish that way, but there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, as Texas All-Star Wrestling has crowned Texas six-man tag team champion. You can see the action still in the background, and the people are really upset, but that's the way it's going to stand. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you that next week, Texas Cup action right here on Texas All-Star Wrestling from Temple, Texas. And we'll be bringing you that action, and you're going to enjoy it. One of the big matches will have Big Bubba going up against the $1 million man, Bruiser Brody, and much, much more. Till then, on behalf of Rapido Rodriguez and the Spanish Network, this is Steve Stack saying so long for Texas All-Star Wrestling 86 on the road tonight at the Freeman Coliseum, San Antonio.
The following is a rebroadcast of the 10 p.m. edition of News 36. News 36 tonight.
Welcome to Texas All-Star Wrestling. Miss Fantasy here with me, and I'll be out in just a moment. He'll be going into the ring here on Texas All-Star Wrestling today. Plus, the $1 million man, Bruiser Brody, is back on Texas All-Star Wrestling tonight, and we've got another one of those monstrous six-man tag team matches. Remember last week in Austin when the ring collapsed? Well, we've got a new reinforced ring and another big six-man tag team match to bring to you. Other exciting matches, so don't go away. It's Texas All-Star Wrestling, the hour of excitement about to begin. Miss Fantasy.
Back up a little bit when you talk to me, Steve Stacks. Don't stand too close.
I understand that you have a new feature that you're going to incorporate into Texas All-Star Wrestling called Up Front with Fantasy.
That's right, and I might even take over your job, Steve Stacks.
Well, let me ask you what Up Front with Fantasy is going to be.
Up Front with Fantasy, everybody has seen Piper's Pit and Jesse's Body Shop. This is going to be a lady's point of view on the wrestling business, Steve Stacks.
What can you bring out that Rapido and I cannot bring out?
Hey, I can bring out plenty. I can ask questions that you don't know how to ask people, Steve Stacks, like that stupid big fat Bubba and the American Force. They ain't nothing. This is going to be next week. I'm going to have a very, very special guest that I met. All you ladies be prepared. Stay tuned and tune in because you're going to love this guy. I know it's going to be great. I want you to see what's going on. I'm going to ask the kind of questions.
Tell us who he is.
I don't want to tell you who it is, Steve Stacks. Why don't you just wait and see? I don't have to tell you nothing. But I'll tell you this. I might even have your job by the time it's all over because I'm going to ask all the questions that you don't know how to ask.
Well, you don't want me to get next to you. I'd appreciate if you'd keep your hands off me.
Well, looks like you need to get some new clothes. I thought we told you that before.
Well, there you have it, coming up front with fantasy here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Don't go away, because our first exciting match with Chris Adams in the ring right after this. Texas All-Star Wrestling will be in Georgetown at the Community Center on Tuesday, January the 7th, 7:30 starting time. Come on over to Georgetown and enjoy the matches. And Texas All-Star Wrestling returns to Waco at the Convention Center on Saturday, January the 11th, 7:30 starting time. The Texas Cup is in Texas, and it will be on the line in the main event, where there's $10,000 in Waco on the 11th. Such stars as Bruiser Brody will be there. Big Bubba, the Zambui Express, the Cowboy, Scott Casey, Austin Idol, and many, many more. They're all battling for that $10,000, which is on the line in the main event. And 4 lucky fans in Waco will be selected, given ringside tickets to the finals at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio on the 26th of January. And if the wrestler who wins the main event in Waco wins the main event there in San Antonio, then the Texas Cup will be presented at the Convention Center in Waco, and the fans who have been selected will be shown on television with that wrestler and have their picture taken with him. So it's a Texas Cup in Waco at the Convention Center, Saturday, January 11th, 7:30. Advance tickets at Marcy's Hamburger, number 754-3821. Scott Casey.
Mr. Stack, do you by any chance know whose face is on a $10,000 bill?
No, I sure don't.
Do you, Mr. Bubba?
Well, neither do I. I've never seen one, but I guarantee you, between the two of us, one of us has got to be able to see that. And it may happen there in Waco. I want to find out who's on a $10,000 bill, and I also want to win that Texas Cup, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's the most prestigious cup in all of wrestling. And not to include that, just imagine winning the whole shebang. $100,000. If you're a depressed man, that sure can put a smile on your face.
Absolutely. It's going to happen, folks. The biggest thing since sliced bread. I'm telling you right now, the Texas Cup is where it's at. Nothing else. I don't care if you want to watch. It doesn't matter. The Texas Cup is where it's at.
Bruiser Brody will be in Waco on the 11th.
Let's say something about religion.
It's a national responsibility, yet there's a local solution.
I'm Eddie Fritz, and with me is William Webster, director of the FBI.
Everyone knows that drunk driving is a serious crime. But drinking while driving is more than just breaking the law. It devastates families and loved ones.
Broadcasters are teaming up with government officials to stop this national tragedy. Join us in your community. Team up against drunk driving.
Well, they have the introductions, ladies and gentlemen, from Mark Nolte, our ring announcer here at the City Coliseum in Austin for Texas All-Star Wrestling tonight. Buddy Marino, the South American heavyweight champion, against Chris Adams. Chris Adams off with the jacket. Well, you remember last week, Chris Adams out here battling with Scott Casey, and things completely got out of hand. And Chris Adams using that belt to pound and take care of Scott Casey. And Casey was pinned, but I don't think it was. And I think the fans know at home that Scott Casey would have never been pinned if Chris Adams hadn't used that belt. Back here with me this week, Doyle King of the Radio Wrestling Network. And Doyle, it's good to have you back.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. It's good to be back here in Austin. You know, there's a special match that has just come underway. I don't know all the details about it, but I understand that it's going to be on television, a cage match between Adams and Casey.
Well, we just understand that next week, here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, we'll have a cage match from the Corpus Christi Memorial Coliseum, where our cameras are going live, and you'll be able to see that match from Corpus Christi. It's the first time ever on television, I'm talking about live, a cage match.
That is amazing, Steve. We're going to look forward to that. Oh, what a toss there on Adams, and a drop kick sends him all the way over the top.
Over the top, out onto the timekeeper's table, and Chris Adams doesn't like it. as he throws a chair in as Buddy Marino, the South American heavyweight champion, had Chris Adams sailing over that top rope. Well, we've got another one of those big six-man tag team matches ready for you today. You remember the last time we had one, the ring collapsed. We had to get a reinforced ring, and it's ready to go here tonight. This ring has been double reinforced, so we'll wait till that six-man tag team comes, and, of course, when all those big wild guys get in there tonight, we hope this ring holds up.
Well, you know, Steve, they've put some extra chains under the ring, and they've taken those 2x8s and replaced them with 2x12s. I don't think that this one is going to break down, but you never can tell what will happen with those super heavyweights now from Texas All-Star Wrestling.
I want to tell all you fans watching that we've got another one of those six-man tag teams, like I told you, coming up later today. And the reason for that is the six-man Texas tag team title is coming to Texas All-Star Wrestling, and that tournament will be held throughout the state of Texas, and the finals will be at the in San Antonio at the Freeman Coliseum, I believe, on January the 12th.
Adams has got his opponent locked up with that head scissor right in the center of the squared circle. Of course, Chris, the camera hog that he is, looking right into the camera and smiling about everything that he does as he tries to put his man out.
Well, as we look down here to the right, coming up now is the man we want to talk to about what is happening. We were not only with Chris Adams. Scott, have been informed just before you come out that you will be in a cage next week on television with Chris Adams.
Right, Steve. I'm only here to comment. I'm not going to get involved in this match. I want to say that to Rapido, too. I'm only here to comment. I'm not going to get involved in this match. You know, last week he hit me with his belt. And I tell you what, there's no telling what he might try to do this week. But next week, I've got him in Corpus Christi in a cage, and it's going to be filmed live. It's not going to be anything that you folks can say, well, like Steve would say, this was shot last week and you're seeing it this week. It's going to be done live in Corpus Christi, and it's never been done before. And I'm going to show the Englishmen what the saying means when they say, fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman.
Well, Scott, I've known you for a long time, and I know the way that he got to you last week here at the City Coliseum, Austin. The fans know also there's no way he's going to pin you without turning you over that head with that belt.
He can't take a thing into that ring, Steve Stacks, or Rapido. He can't take his belt. All he can take is his body and his talent, and therefore lies the answer to the match. Who's the best? You know, God once said he made 1,000 questions and only 250 answers. Let's see if one of the answers is in the 250 for him. I don't think so.
I know the fans in Corpus Christi and throughout the Texas All-Star Wrestling Television Network are going to get a first, as we'll put up a cage for television. That's the first time it's ever been done. As you said earlier, we showed a lot of videotapes, but never live.
Yes, I'm just here to scout, Steve. If you want to go ahead and comment, I'll go along with you. I want to see what he's going to try to do with South American heavyweight champion.
He must have pulled the hair there, I believe, to get Buddy Marino back into the head scissors. Scott, a little later on here on Texas All-Star Wrestling today, we got another one of those big six-man tags coming up. You remember the last time we had one, the whole ring collapsed.
I'm telling you what, Steve, you know, they can say what they want about wrestling around the country, but when it comes to wrestling here at Texas All-Star, you never know what's going to happen. We had a couple of 1,000 pounds just in one corner out there, and when that ring went in, it looked like a herd of buffalo trying to get out of a water hole. And I tell you, it was something to behold.
Right now, it's Chris Adams still having the head of Buddy Marino tied up in between the legs with that head scissors. And now Marino gets the leverage going back, and he had Adams down for a count of 2. Now the referee, Manuel Villalobos, here for this match.
I might add something here. As you folks can tell, this is an entirely different ring from the one that you saw last week because it caved in. If you have ever taken a fall on concrete, that's what this ring is like. I have never in my life witnessed a ring that is suffering. These guys are doing some unbelievable bump taking in there, and I got to give them credit. As much as I hate you, Chris Adams, you're a man of your word, and you're out there wrestling like you normally do, but that is the hardest ring, Steve, I have ever seen in my life.
There's a super kick from Chris Adams. He knocks Buddy Marino back into the rope, and now he ties him up, and it looks like he did this to you last week, Scott.
That's right. I was lucky enough to get out of it when he tied me up. Now watch, he'll probably do what he did before. No, what's he going to try to do? He's going to take a chair.
He is going outside. He's got a chair, and he's bringing it into the ring. Here he comes with a chair. Oh, Buddy kicks him down. Buddy gets untied from that rope.
That's why he's a South American heavyweight champion.
The bell is sounding. I believe that's going to be a disqualification for bringing the chair into the ring. And Chris Adams slammed into the chair. Buddy Burrito goes after Adams. Adams gets out of the way.
That's one tough Venezuelan. He's a tough man, any way you want to look at him.
Adams throwing the chairs in as he is cleaning out. Dixon, all right. Scott, thank you for coming by. We look forward to seeing you in the ring in Corpus in the cage.
Bye-bye. Adios, amigo.
There you have Scott Casey, ladies and gentlemen. Buddy Burrito has his hand raised as Chris Adams disqualified for bringing in the chair. Stay tuned, because when we come back, the $1 Million Man, Bruiser Brody, will be here.
Register with Selective Service. Yeah. Fill out the card.
Newswatch 6 has been honored by the State Bar of Texas with the prestigious Gavel Award. This report on a mock trial at a Killeen Elementary School was the winning entry.
There are a lot of questions, not only about Sly Sammy in this trial, but about law. And that's exactly what Law Day is all about.
Each year, the Bar Association honors only 2 TV stations for broadcasting reports that add to the public understanding of our justice system. Another reason to watch the winners on KCEN TV.
Hey, Jack, it's my son, Alexander Black, a famous magician till he dropped out of the business. He switched from Houdini to whodunit.
An impossible crime? Anything is possible.
So he needed a criminal expert like me.
Hustling little kid.
Principle of the thing. When the cops are stuck, Alex always pulls them out, but he'd be sunk without his old man.
Pop, you are sensational.
Easy.
From the creator of Murder, She Wrote, Hal Linden, Harry Morgan, Black's Magic, a 2-hour movie premiere January 5th.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the ambulance has arrived. That signals the arrival of none other than Bruiser Brody, as he'll be coming out of that ambulance. Gary Hart is right there. And here comes one of the ambulance attendants. And there he is, Bruiser Brody.
Gary Hart, so confident in his $1 Million Man, the man that he paid $1 million for, Bruiser Brody, that he now brings an ambulance to ringside with him, and Brody rolls the gurney down there. He's so confident of sending his man to the hospital, Steve. The arrogance is unbelievable.
Well, here we go. It's Bruiser Brody in the ring against Rudy Gonzalez. The referee is Manuel Lobos. The announcer is Mark Noty. Brody starts, and Hart with his $1 Million Man in the ring. Brody with forearms knocks Rudy Gonzalez down. Last week, people were wondering what happened to the two gentlemen. They were both taken to the emergency receiving center, and one of them's going to be out for a long time. Bill Rathke's feeling a lot of pain in that shoulder where he get clobbered with that 2x4. But Mike Scott won't be wrestling for a while.
That neck, Brody came down, and of course, After that, we saw when Brody came back out again here, Gary Hart's $1 Million Man. He came back out, interfered in a match between the one-man gang and Killer Brooks, and the ring literally collapsed with these super heavyweights here in Texas All-Star Wrestling, Steve.
Well, Rudy's been thrown out to the crowd. Brody is right over there with him. Brody takes Rudy Gonzalez. What's he going to do with him? Takes him around to where the timekeeper's table is, slams his head into the timekeeper's table. As you can see, this wild maniac, Bruiser Brody, here we go. Just about like last week. He uses everything he can get his hands on. It doesn't make any difference. If you remove that table, he would go out back somewhere and find one or go to a restaurant next door and get one.
Oh, look at that. With one arm, Brody just slams Gonzalez into that table. He leaned the table up against the ring, and now it's knocked down, and Gonzalez, his opponent, is down here on the ring floor. I don't understand why the referee doesn't go ahead and count these men out here.
Well, Brody is wise enough. He knows how to break that count, and now they are back into the ring. Here comes Brody bouncing off the rope. Big kick. There goes to the side of the jaw of Rudy Gonzalez. And Bruiser Brody, I'll tell you what, I just don't know about this. Money changes everybody.
This is the, who would have believed that Gary Hart and Bruiser Brody together after what these men have gone through in the past. But like you said, Steve, money does mean everything to this kind of people.
Big chop. Down goes Rudy Gonzalez. That's right on the throat. Brody yells for a chair. Gary Hart throws it in. Brody straightens out the chair with that big boot.
Oh, the bell is the bell. It's going to be another disqualification, but watch this. He's got Brody, once again, he's going to come up there with that pile driver, picks him up. Look at that. He's got him right over the center of that chair, toying with his hand, just holding him there, Steve. Why do they stop this?
He just holds him, and now he drives his head into the chair.
Did you see Gonzalez's head bounce up there?
He is he's out. The match is already over. Brody's going to count himself. Brody keeps slapping the mat. Bruiser Brody, the wild $1 Million Man. The $1 million paid by Gary Hart, and the $1 Million Man wins another one. And the ambulance attendants will have another job of taking Rudy Gonzalez out. Now here goes Brody with a 2x4. Where's he going now?
He used that 2x4 last week. Look at him, smashes it right across that table again. Brody.
He's after the ring announcer, Mark Nolte, and he pushes him down.
Nolte knows enough to get out of there.
Nolte's smart. I would be running also anytime that Bruiser Brody comes after me.
Brody, probably one of the most devastating men in professional wrestling today. He's a wild man. There's absolutely no controlling Bruiser Brody, the $1 Million Man, as he's so subtitled now.
Now, here he comes. What's he have? He broke that 2x4 in two, and now he's got two pieces. That's double trouble for somebody.
They need to get some help out here. He could kill that man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Bruiser Brody is going to take Rudy Gonzalez out. He's going to roll him out of the ring, and he'll be loading him up on the gurney, I'm sure, and taking him out just like he did last week. And how many weeks are we going to have to put up with $1 Million Man?
Something needs to be done about this, Steve. There's no way that this should go on with Brody. This is 2 weeks in a row that he's injured people and sent them literally out of the wrestling business.
Look at this. He's just full of it. He just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. The $1 Million Man, Bruiser Brody. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll be back with Killer Brooks right after this.